Chapter 1 of the Coxon Fund. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Larry Kaplan. The Coxon Fund by Henry James, Chapter 1. They've got him for life, I said to myself that evening on my way back to the station. But later on, alone in the compartment, from Wimbledon to Waterloo before the glory of the District Railway, I amended this declaration in the light of the sense that my friends would probably, after all, not enjoy a monopoly of Mr. Saltram. I won't pretend to have taken his vast measure on that first occasion, but I think I had achieved a glimpse of what the privilege of his acquaintance might mean for many persons in the way of charges accepted. He had been a great experience, and it was this, perhaps, that had put me into the frame of foreseeing how we should all, sooner or later, have the honor of dealing with him as a whole. Whatever impression I then received of the amount of this total, I had a full enough vision of the patience of the Mulvilles. He was to stay all the winter. Adelaide dropped it in a tone that drew the sting from the inevitable emphasis. These excellent people might indeed have been content to give the circle of hospitality a diameter of 6 months, but if they didn't say he was to stay all summer, as well it was only because this was more than they had ventured to hope. I remember that at dinner that evening he wore slippers, new and predominantly purple, of some queer carpet stuff. But the Mulvilles were still in the stage of supposing that he might be snatched from them by higher bidders. At a later time they grew, poor dears, to fear no snatching, but theirs was a fidelity which needed no help from competition to make them proud. Wonderful indeed as, when all was said, you inevitably pronounced Frank Saltram, it was not to be overlooked that the Kent Mulvilles were in their way still more extraordinary, as striking an instance as could easily be encountered of the familiar truth that remarkable men find remarkable conveniences. They had sent for me from Wimbledon to come out and dine, and there had been an implication in Adelaide's note, judged by her notes alone she might have been thought silly, that it was a case in which something momentous was to be determined or done. I had never known them not to be in a state about somebody, and I dare say I tried to be droll on this point in accepting their invitation. On finding myself in the presence of the latest discovery, I had not at first felt the reverence droop, and, thank heaven, I have never been absolutely deprived of that alternative in Mr. Saltram's company. I saw, however, I hasten to declare it, that
Sample complete. Ready to continue?